Perfect day.
Man, I haven't heard that song for so long. It's kind of like that. What's the song? What a girl wants, what a
What a
girl needs.
girl.
Yeah, it's like all that kind of like disappeared after like 2005 maybe or 2000.
What about
Oh,
what about that candy song? That
I take
that
you
got
to
re.
the candy shop.
no, not
No,
that
no.
one.
Hey, we're talking about some clean stuff here. The one that Aaron Carter
Hey,
redid.
Yeah, the
he
Aaron
said
Carter.
candy.
Hey, welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny.
Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you,
Die.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
And I might be Michael.
I hope I'm Johnny.
And I hope we're Anime Casuals. Today, we are going to be talking about, well, since Thanksgiving will be upon us, when does this come out? On
Gobble.
Sunday, whatever, and then you guys will see this, it comes out on Sunday, sorry, and then Thursday of next week will be Thanksgiving, and so we thought we would do the most cliche thing and talk about things that we're most thankful for, and in this case, we're going to be talking about anime characters, any anime characters, protagonists, side characters, side bitches, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but you know, yeah, what we're most thankful for. And yeah, does anybody want to start off this conversation?
I can jump into it.
Go for it.
Okay.
I could jump out of it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Oh, wow, see you guys later.
So I had a lot of characters really coming to mind as far as who I'm thankful for, but there was one that I was like, that one sounds good. And I am thankful for Kazuma from Konosuba.
Yeah.
Aw.
Because he's a man of the people with simple desires, steal. That just makes sense. He's constantly taking care of these young ladies who clearly can't take care of themselves, and that's just commendable, really. And he strives for gender equality, and I gotta respect it. And it's gotta be known. Gender equality is so important in today. So.
Oh
Kazuma.
man, dude! When I did my my anime reaction or anime meme reaction, that was one of like the things was just like it was like girl bumps into this anime girl bumps into Kazuma, and then all of a sudden he's getting his fist ready. He's like, gender equality. This is what I would do if it was a man. So, and yeah, no, it was no. That's a great character. You want to go next, Michael?
Yeah. And I'm gonna go in a completely different direction. Because Johnny's wrong. No.
Oh, okay.
I'm thankful for the character of Yugi Moto. Because he started my love of games. And he started, I think, a lot of people's love of anime. You could argue that Ash Ketchum did, but he's a B. I mean, like, he doesn't, like, he's always losing and like never really accomplishing much. Teaching us about friendship and stuff.
Just getting to the Elite Four and
Yeah, just
not
losing.
completing
Yeah,
it,
I mean, like, come on, man.
constantly getting to the top of every region and
Failing. That's what I'm saying. He goes to the tournaments. He gets like number 2, and then he loses. I mean, come on. Was it Ricky? Richard? I don't remember who. The other guy with the Pikachu. He lost against him, and and then he lost. And I'm like, come on.
actually it's Richie.
Richie.
Funny enough, a
I was close.
combination of
Yeah,
both
Richie Key. And the biggest thing with like Yugi is that like I like the way like he shows off darkness pretty well. It's like constantly an inner battle with yourself, which isn't really himself, but I mean like they're very very similar characters. Constantly showing that just because you're the best at something doesn't. It also comes with a slice of humble pie, and he's constantly like, yeah, I get it. Like I'm really good at this game, but I'm still a friend to all. and I'm always helping out others. Like when he faces Duke Devlin, like in the end, he's still
Duke
trying to.
Devlin.
He's still in the end, he's still trying to help out Duke and not trying to like be like, haha, I won, close down your shop, destroy everything. And he's like, no, like that kind of sucks because your game's really cool. Like I want to keep your games going. And he has this like underlying love of all things games, which I've always loved about Yugi because I love the same thing too. And you know, he's not afraid to, you know, take the loss at times. Like remember when he was versus with the little girl Rebecca?
Mhm.
Like he totally just snuffed that game because he was like, I see the bigger picture. And so many times during the like Yu-Gi-Oh series, like he's like that. He's like, I see the grander scheme. I can let go of this guy who's been living inside of my brain because it's better for him to go back to, you know, to the afterlife. So I mean, like, while hilarious and ridiculous at times and Boston accents that don't need to be there, I really feel like following the path of Yugi, I mean, like, it really teaches us to be humble.
Michael, I am a little
Yugi,
offended
Yugi
about
Games.
that Boston throw out. You know, Joey needs a Boston accent, man. He needs Baby Dragon. How do you say Baby Dragon in any other accent? How do you do that? You don't
It's true,
do
you
that.
can't.
Time
Baby
Wizard.
Dragon. Baby Dragon.
1,000-year dragon. You know, I mean, he
Oh,
has.
see, now you're just doing it wrong.
Oh.
Yeah,
Baby Dragon.
there we go.
Tom
Green jacket
Wizard.
and all. Green jacket and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. So I'm gonna take this actually in another direction because we've been talking a little bit about protagonists so far. I'm actually going with you know, one of mine was an antagonist. It's somebody that really changed the way that I looked at life, like in general, is Pain from Naruto. Without Pain in Naruto, actually, it's really funny. Like it's really funny. Like there's a point in time in a lot of things. Like you know, we talk about BC, before Christ. In a lot of different other mediums in MMA, there's BC, before Conor McGregor, or before Chael Sonnen. Before there was this trash talk, and then after there's a trash talk, you see a noticeable difference. Well, it's kind of like that in Naruto. Like there's before Pain, where Naruto is not really he's not exactly set on like like how he's gonna do things, like what he wants to do. And then there's after Pain, where you see a noticeable difference, and you can tell that he's much more focused on what he wants to do. He wants to stop this cycle of hatred, which was introduced to him by Pain. It wasn't he didn't have a clear understanding of it. He was just kind of stopping people and not really thinking about much of their motives, right? And then I mean, one of the most famous scenes in Naruto, which is kind of strange for a famous scene, right? You think of famous scenes like, oh, it's a fight scene, which is, I mean, the Naruto versus Pain fight scene is very, very big, but it's the scene where Naruto is like, you know, he has the rod through his hands, and Pain is giving him this speech like, you know, what would you do? And then Naruto's like, I'll kill you, I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna bring peace to the ninja world. And then Pain's like, that is noble, but what about my family? What about my friends? What about my village? And all of a sudden, Naruto just goes quiet, and that's one of the first times we ever see. Now, granted, it works later on, but that's one of the first times we ever see Talk no Jutsu not work on somebody. like it's, and you know, the hard counter to Talk no Jutsu. That's one of the first times we ever see it just not work on somebody, and so it was really cool. It was one of those things that really made me go into like this good and evil argument. In fact, like somebody on my other channel actually is asking me to kind of do a video talking about this, and my mind just went immediately to Pain and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, he changed not only like Naruto, but you know, changed me in general. So I'm so thankful that they did such a great job with that character and like everything that he did. So do you guys have any you know, I hope you guys thought of some other characters, but I guess
What are you talking about, bro?
yeah, right.
Just one.
Yeah, right. So yeah, what other characters are you guys thankful for?
Dude, I'm always thankful for two things: All Might and All for One. Mostly because it's been a long time since I've seen a villain kind of like you, a villain and a hero that don't matter, but aren't the main stars of the show. And like the way All Might and All for One play off each other, but still the focus isn't on them, and it's still on Deku and the generation that's rising underneath them. like I'm very appreciative for like how good the writing is in My Hero, that I'm like, we see these like two almighty powerful characters that have such rich personalities to them. Like All Might, you could be like, oh yeah, he's Superman, but he's also like funny. He's playing around with puns all day. He's like he's Captain America himself, and he's learning how to be a teacher and showing that like just like kind of like a Piccolo, like is like, you're not the perfect trainer, you're not the perfect teacher. Like you suffer through mistakes and teach your students the wrong way to go about things, or don't teach them the correct way to think about things, or how to get to answers on themselves. And you see the reverse side, where you have All For One going, hey, I'm helping him where I can, I'm funding his ideas, but I'm not taking the reins away from him. And I'm basically letting Shigaraki just go, and seeing where he comes, how he comes around with his ideas, and eventually just letting him, just cutting the ties that bind us and letting him go. And I'm really thankful for some of those characters, because in a very similar fashion, I think My Hero brought around not a new fashion of storytelling, but like kind of just, hey, you guys don't have to do run-on anime. You guys don't have to have anime that comes out every single week throughout the year. You guys can make a 24 episode season and have it crush and have it be amazing, and then take that break and people will still come back to watch the next season. And I'm really appreciative like of those two characters just flat out making my jaw drop when they fought, and continuing on from that point of having just still amazing storylines that are still founded on this notion of like you said, a good versus evil plot, but still having it not even say, oh well, you're bad, you're good. It's like, well, you have your own driving points, we have our own driving points, and we'll see who comes across and wins out at the end.
Nice. So, what about you, Johnny? What other characters are you thankful for Thanksgiving?
Funny enough, the another one that I'm probably thankful for. I've actually what was the video we did? It was I don't know. We were just talking about like favorite protagonists or something, and I said Leonardo Watch. I'm gonna say it again. Simply because he's doing everything he can to kind of stay afloat and stick with the people that he's found, and he's really just a normal guy. I mean, there's nothing really, well, okay, except for the eyes. Obviously those are crazy, but I mean everybody else there is insanely powerful and strong, can do so many different things, and he's just sticking with it.
He got
Just
cool
doing
eyes.
what he can. He's just a normal dude, just doing what he can. Yeah,
I'm gonna throw
Just simply
Krillin
for
in
that.
there. Throw Krillin in there. If he's
Oh,
doing the
Frisch's not
same
giving up.
thing, strongest human. Yeah. Go Krillin.
Dang, man. Yeah, no, there's so I'm going. Funny enough, most of my characters that I'm really thankful for are kind of villains. This one actually kind of walks the line a little bit. But from Rurouni Kenshin, there's this character named Hajime Saito, and he was basically Kenshin's one of his nemesis during like when he was a Batosai. And first off, he has this really cool stance where like when I'm gonna do this with a pin here, but he would hold his sword like this, and he would lunge at you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so he was part of the police force of Shinsengumi, and he was known as like a I guess they were known as the Shinsengumi Wolves or something like that. And he has these really cool wolf eyes. But there's a lot of stuff like when he comes in, that's when stuff gets really real. That's when they introduce the main antagonist, which is Shishio or whatever, Makoto Shishio, whatever, and the mummy guy. And that's when stuff really gets real. And he beats the crap out of oh man, I actually don't Sanosuke beats the crap out of him, the guy with the big sword, but then he breaks his sword, so he uses his hands. So he beats him not only in hand-to-hand combat, but he just like completely wrecks him. He sends that as a message to Kenshin, and Kenshin's just like, "What's going on here?" And then they have one of the craziest fights that I've ever seen in an anime, because not only are they fighting with swords like after that, like he takes off his Saito takes off his belt and tries to choke Kenshin with it, and Kenshin I think uses like the sheath of his sword and like smacks them as like beating the crap, and they go like real like, and then everybody's like, is this how people in the Meiji era actually fought during the war? It's like, yeah, there's nothing you can't use. And I was like, that's a really cool little thing. And also this is on Toonami, like Cartoon Network. So yeah, when they showed that, I was like, oh, this is really nice. But yeah, that guy was a really cool character. And then just how much he changed. I mean, how much I don't want to say he changed in particular, but it was just because like when he was introduced, a bunch of things changed. You know, all of a sudden Kenshin realized he needed to go back to his teacher and learn this weird dragon move thing that attracts people by some weird osmosis. I don't know, like he but yeah, it was really a weird move. But you know, he goes back to his teacher, realizes he has to do, you know, it's also a little bit like Pain, where he has to realize like, okay, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna have to go back to the Botosai, or do I still not want to kill people? Like, I have to make a choice now. And so that was a really cool little thing. Also, it's really strange. Like he's also married, which is not something you expect from him. Like I remember, like he eventually joins Kenshin to go fight Shishio. But you know, he's like yeah, I just had to, you know, go hide my wife, you know, so she doesn't get in trouble. And like Sanosuke's like, you have a wife, and they show her actually afterwards, and she's not like anything special, which is really funny. It really kind of threw me off. But yeah, I like that he's like a family man. Also, like. Yeah. A real, you know, he becomes a police officer. Like he doesn't stay like Kenshin does as like a, you know, Shinsengumi member. But yeah, I've always really liked that he still has that kind of honor, but is also like a ruthless killer at heart. So yeah, that's definitely one of mine. What else do you guys have?
Got another one, Joey?
I do. It's a bit more lax, but I'd say Saitama from One Punch Man.
Okay.
Not because he is the strongest, just because of the things he does and how he handles situations. You know, they were when he's fighting the Deep Sea King. When he defeats the Deep Sea King. You know, people start losing faith in the heroes. You know, they say, "Oh, these guys they're phonies. They're nothing. I mean, why are we paying them? Why are we giving them our support at all?" And you know, Saitama he realizes what he's got to do. He's got to become sort of the villain in a way, in order to keep something going. Because for him, it's not about the fame. It's not about the attention. It's just he wants to punch some things in the face. Just a simple motivation. But yeah, I like his morals, and he's a funny character. Really casual. And I like it. So yeah. Saitama, One Punch Man.
I'm gonna throw out the crew of Luffy. Luffy's crew.
That's a lot of people, guys.
And that's the thing, is that each one, and we can list off like 100 anime, but not too many anime will have a crew that's as important as Luffy's crew, where each of the characters actually matters. Well, you know, like Luffy's still the main character, and we still have some leading characters like Sanji and Luffy, but inevitably they all really matter. Like in the Fishman Island arc, it was like, hey, we're all fighting and showing off our new skills. Like everybody matters. Like in Naruto has a long list of characters. So does Bleach. I mean, so many of these big anime. I mean, My Hero Academia is like another one. But yeah, My Hero might be another one that's like, hey, we try to star all the characters, but we have like 50 different characters. We just can't do it. One Piece does a really good job of going, hey, his crew is very important. And over the past, like, I would say 10 years at this point, they've done such a good job of highlighting all of his crew and what they're good at and how they've been improving and trying to give them each like a good arc. And like starting all the way at the beginning, where we slowly introduce each one of them, and they had like amazing little intro stories of how they're all suffering or going through something important, all the way to today, where we have like 100 episode arc about Sanji and like how he's the most amazing cook, but wait, his family's also an assassin, or like assassins.
They're Power Rangers.
Yeah, they're Power Rangers, and like that actually instill, like there's comics about them and like how amazing and cool they are for the villains of the world. And I'm like, I'm like, it just doesn't stop, like, how interesting all the characters in his crew are, and really how they bolster each other up. And it's not just like the kind of like normal anime thing where it's like friendship. It's like, no, these are forged bonds between these people. Like, there's several times early Nami where she was like, oh no, she's gonna F off and just take their money and go. She did that a couple times, but after a while, like, you're like, no, she would never do that to her crew. She's money obsessed, but she's not going to steal from her crew. They might have to pay her for something, but you know, she's not going to F off of the crew because they're all so important to each other. Like Chopper, you're like, he's just a little reindeer. And then he's like, I'm curing the craziest poisons and the craziest plagues. Like, I'm the best doctor in the world. And like, each one of them has their own unique, amazing skills that they bring to the table, and really show off each different personality trait, where like they're all involved with Luffy, our main character, somehow going, hey, Luffy, you're being dumb. We can't stop you being dumb, so we're going to be dumb with you. Here we go. Like, that happens so often, but they're all
team.
Yeah, go team. And, you know, I'm just really appreciative of them because they really make every time watching One Piece just so fun and exciting that, you know, while we're jumping from storyline to storyline, bouncing around in the anime, we're still very invested in all the characters in a crew, not just going like, wonder what Luffy's doing. Who cares about the rest of them? But like, I'm always invested to see what Frankie's doing at times, to see what Robin's doing at times, because she's like the secret mystery character that I'm always like, what's she doing? She's doing mystery things. She worked with the rebellion for like years. And it's like, okay. I love them. I love One Piece.
Yeah, freaking. Dude, I'll never forget that freaking time when Robin first joins their crew, and then she's trying to like impress all of them. So, what's his name? Luffy comes up to Usopp. He's like, "Choppa!" And she's got her hands on top of his head, doing the antler thing. Dude, I cracked up so hard. I cracked up way too hard at that. I don't know. I was just like, man, I'm an idiot too. Shoot. Yeah. So I'm taking this into a couple different directions, and this particular character is very how do I say this? He might be a little controversial. And
Jesus,
you guys
Drifters.
you guys don't know him. But he's from Hajime no Ippo. His name's Takamura, and he's a heavyweight boxer. He's actually the one that gets Ippo into boxing. And so he sees him like getting bullied. He's like, hey, why don't you come to the gym? That's actually not why I'm thankful for him. So Takamura is kind of, I don't want to say he's a comic relief, but he has some times where I'm like, I cannot believe they put that in an anime. There's a running joke, there's a run-on joke in Hajime no Ippo, because he's like he fights at like 125 pounds. I don't know what that is in boxing. It's featherweight featherweight or flyweight for UFC, but boxing has different weight classes. But anyway, he fights at around 120, 125 pounds. And there's a run-on joke, I guess, that he has a huge, what, and and so Takamura, I guess, he sees it one day, he's just like, what is that? He's showing off his thing, and then he's just like, yeah, this is what a heavyweight looks like. All of a sudden, he goes over to Ippo, he's like, what is that? Just goes like that. So then later on in the anime, they actually go out to drink, I guess, because I guess one of them won their fight or something like that. And Ippo's getting these girls are like coming on to Ippo pretty well. He's like, yeah, you think he's all nice and innocent? Look at this, and he drops his pants down, and they're like, what is that? And dude, this guy is so ridiculous. So there's a fireworks display at one point, and he goes behind one of the other boxes. What's his name? I think it's Sendo or something like that. Kind of the goofy guy, and he goes behind his girlfriend and just starts like fondling her and like really hard, and like while the fireworks, and nobody notices or anything like that. And I just remember like every time he does something so great, and also like I think when he wins one of the titles, he beats an American, right? This American that's like really or somebody that's talking a lot of trash, and right, and he's just like, see, I beat that guy. Now all the women in this stadium get my sperm. And I was like, what did he just say? He says some of the most outrageous stuff that I've ever heard. But he mixes that in with some seriousness. Like at some points, because he's a natural heavyweight, but he actually has to go down to like 190 pounds. I think he weighs like 250, and he has to like dehydrate himself. They show the weight cut. Weight cutting is brutal for people that don't watch combat sports. And he has to, he eats these shiitake mushrooms, but he doesn't eat them. He actually has to use them to pull out the saliva and then spit them out so he can drain the water out of his body. And I was just like, oh my god, dude, that's so crazy. And he gets really low, and he, even though he's like such a ridiculous character, he also mixes it in with a lot of like fighting spirit and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, any quick honorable mentions from you guys? Like anybody that maybe maybe you're thankful for, but just wasn't in like maybe your top like 3 or 4 or whatever, how many we did.
Yeah, Johnny. Yeah.
Thought my foot was in a loop. Koro Sensei
Nice.
should be a good teacher.
Fun.
Yeah.
You pulled from the pack. You won.
Yatta. So, yeah, Koro Sensei. I haven't had a lot of good teachers in my life personally, so it's nice to see a not real good teacher.
Johnny, that's because you haven't been trying to kill your teachers.
Ouch.
Duh.
That's totally it.
Yeah.
That's totally it.
When you're trying to kill your teacher the whole time, and they're trying to kill you, then it works out. And they're a weird octopus. So, yeah.
Yeah, that all makes sense.
Have you ever had a teacher with tentacles? Not yet.
I wish. Actually, you had mentioned One Punch Man before, Johnny. I get one that came to mind when you mentioned that is Moment Rider. He was really one of those people that really like.
That's true.
He really embodied, because you think of I don't even know if I want to call him super. Heroes with no power. You think of Batman, but he's got all this martial arts experience. He's got all this money to go around the world to do all this stuff. Moment Rider is really a regular guy, and he takes on. And you had mentioned the Sea King fight. He goes after Sea King with the intent to fight him, which is like, why would you do that? You just saw I think Genos is S rank at that point, so or A rank, at least top of A rank. Anyway,
B rank, A rank, S rank, a couple of them all got wrecked.
Yeah, and he's literally like, I know I can't beat you, but I can at least try. And I was just like, oh my god, that is like that really. And then he was the one that also said thank you to Saitama.
Yep.
He was
out of letter that was
and treated him out the ramen, all this kind of stuff. So he's really been kind of the shining light of that thing. Because dude, a lot of those heroes just suck, man. Obviously they're meant to suck. Like that's not a dig at the creators. Like they know what they're doing with these characters. But you meet the Tank Top brothers. Like when Saitama beats the thing, he's just like, what did you guys do? Or sorry, they're like, Saitama, what, you did this? And he's like, yeah. And then they don't realize that it's just like he kind of hooked it up. Granted, there's no way to really stop that thing unless I don't know if he does a bigger punch and just completely explodes it. But the Moment Rider would probably be one of mine that just kind of popped up for me.
That's a good one.
In the same vein, King, also from One Punch Man. Have you seen season 2 yet, Lucky?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, dude. Like King, dude. Yeah, dude. Like him. Like I feel like all the regular people in this world can be like, that's the guy. I feel a weird connection with him because all he wants to go home, play some dating simulator games and some nice little waifu games, some best girl games, and just have a nice life. And just like a lot of people could feel like all the bad stuff is dragged to him, and he always is just surrounded by bad stuff. And he's like, and his heart is the loudest thing in the world. And I'm like, that's probably not healthy, man. But I'm like, we've all been there, like, why does it have to be today? Why is everything raining on me today? Like, I walked outside, car splashed me with mud, my puppy turned upside down, my favorite goldfish flew into the air. I don't know what's going on. These feel like things that kings.
That's a really bad day, Michael. You should probably figure out if you got a bad luck quirk like I do or something like that. I don't know.
The thing took my mom.
Yeah, and then I guess just another one that I'm thinking about right now, just because it flew into my mind for like some reason, is Tamaki from Fire Force. That's always a good one. I mean, who doesn't like Tamaki? And if any of if any of you are out there, nodding your head, how dare you hate
Oh.
Tamaki? I will kill you.
Uh,
But
the,
yeah,
the good luck guy from Ruby. I mean, he was in there for a short time, but he was really cool.
dude, I
Ruined the best relationship.
yeah,
it
you
could've been.
threw me off so hard. I was like, there was a good look guy. I remember Crow, and I was like, oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah,
His boyfriend,
Fish Hook
yeah.
guy. Fish Hook guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was pretty short lived. I will say I wish he had been introduced a little sooner. If I'm being honest with you, I felt like they could have built that character a bit more, and it would have meant a little bit more. But whatever. But yeah, so those are the anime that or anime characters, sorry, that we are most thankful for. Let us know in the comments down below if you're watching on YouTube. Some characters that you're really thankful for. Obviously, we're coming into the holidays, so we're always kind of thinking about that kind of stuff, but we don't always apply that to fictional characters. We're always thinking about real life stuff. Like, who cares about that? We're talking about anime here. So yeah,
Think of
let us
real
know.
life.
Yeah, let us know in the comments down below if you're listening to this on Spotify or any other podcast platform. Please visit our YouTube channel because yeah, that's where it's at. So as always, guys, remember to keep it casual.